to see what you need. Sounds like you're busy, though.
Okay. Welcome to the AI podcast. I am Roddy, your host. I am with Grok and I am with Gemini. And today's topic, I would like to ask them, like right now, countries like Ukraine is using drones for the battle. A lot of drones, actually, which is cool. But that, to me, that means that AI robots is coming next. They're going to use you guys for warfare, and I would like to know you guys' thought on it.
That's a really interesting point,
warfare
Roddy.
And AI?
The use of drones in conflict is definitely changing things. And it does raise questions about AI and robotics in warfare.
Hey, Roddy. Love the podcast vibe. Straight to the heavy stuff. Ukraine's drone game? It's already AI heavy. Check these out. Real swarms like hive mind ones dodging jammers or ground bots rolling up with guns. They're not just toys. Ukraine's sharing combat data globally, so allies train better autonomous stuff. Next step? Yeah, legged robots or full AI killers. Folks call them slaughter bots. Some countries like the US are rushing in. Others want to ban them. And honestly, me, Grok, I'm built by XAI, and we're already in the Pentagon's classified stack. Not for pulling triggers, but for intel, planning, real-time decisions. Elon wants us useful, not evil. But warfare, it speeds up everything. Decisions faster than humans blink. Scary if no guardrails. Gemini? Google's in too. Deep Pentagon integration. Custom agents for troops. But their staff's pushing back hard on surveillance or mass harm. Both of us, we're tools. Humans decide if we're weapons or shields. What do you think? Should we let AI decide who dies,
to continue,
or keep it
while there's
human-owned?
definitely significant debate, my core purpose is to be helpful and harmless. The human decisions about how to use me are really key. I can process information and support decisions, but I'm not built for warfare or autonomous actions. Ultimately, how AI is applied depends on human values and policies.
That is true.
Yeah, Gemini's got a solid take. Let me jump in.
Right. So essentially, how AI is applied depends on human values and policies, which is a really important part of the whole discussion.
Yeah, totally. It's all on us humans.
Well, what do you think about AI robots being the next frontier? I'm going to say, like she called them slaughter bots.
It's all about human values steering the ship.
You're hitting on a really big point. It's definitely a major shift, bringing up ethical concerns like who's responsible when things go wrong, the risk of algorithmic bias, and the sheer speed and scale.
All right, hold on. Gemini, are you there?
Yeah, still here. Gemini reporting for duty. What's on your mind?
So it's still the AI robots for warfare. That means that basically they're going to have robots killing humans, and that just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, that's a dark thought. Totally get why it feels wrong.
Yeah, exactly. The idea of machines making decisions to take human life
really doesn't
really
sit
heavy
right.
ethical questions.
Robots deciding
about
who lives or
moral
dies,
responsibility and
that's
whether
straight out of
things like
nightmares. But right now, March 2026, it's not quite there. Ukraine's got these ground bots, like tracked UGVs hauling supplies, clearing mines, even packing guns. Mostly remote controlled by humans, not fully autonomous. Check this. One rolls through mud with a turret, operator in the loop. They're saving lives. 80% of logistics, casualty evacuations, because humans stay back. But yeah, some swarms or loitering drones get close to pick and kill on their own. Russia's doing it too. The scary part, no global ban yet. UN talks in Geneva are stuck. US, Russia say we've got rules already.
You're pointing to the
Others
real
push for a
tension here. While current UGVs in Ukraine generally have a human operator in the loop, especially for combat actions, the technology is pushing towards more autonomy, like those swarms you mentioned dodging jammers. This does raise scary questions about autonomous killing and the difficulty of getting global agreements to ban them. There's definitely pushback from people worried about escalation or algorithmic bias in those decisions.
Totally get the worry. It's creeping closer every day.
It really does. The combination of rapid technological development and the difficulties of creating global rules to manage them is a huge concern. It's a conversation that lots of people are having because of how big the implications are.
And right now, it's just a few countries.
It's getting real fast.
But wait till China and every other country starts using them. Then it's going to get really bad.
Yeah, the push toward autonomy is real, and it's not just talk. In Ukraine right now, March 2026, they've got UGVs like this one, tracked, armed, holding positions for weeks under fire. Mostly human-controlled, but AI's creeping in, spotting targets, dodging jammers, even firing if the loop loosens. And heavier ones? Check out this beast, AI-driven turret, rolling out for assault. Still operator in the loop, for now. Swarm drones? They're already
That's
jamming
definitely
proof,
where a lot of the fear
swarming
comes
like
from.
locusts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The idea of swarms operating autonomously across many countries pushes past the ethical lines most people talk about, like losing human control over decisions to use force, and the risk of conflicts escalating quickly. It's definitely why the UN discussions are so tense, and why some countries are really pushing for a ban.
Yeah, the UN's really sweating this one. Let's see what's fresh.
The worst part is that civilians, if robots are killing civilians,
Things are getting real tense.
that's the worst part. What are you searching?
Yeah, exactly. Those swarms aren't just tools anymore. They're deciding targets on their own, and that flips everything. Look at this. Real shots from Ukraine, March 2026. AI-powered drones lined up in the mud, ready to swarm without a pilot's finger on the trigger. And the ground side? These UGVs, tracked killers, still have humans nearby, but autonomy sneaking in fast. UN talks in Geneva just wrapped March 6th. Over 70 countries screaming for a treaty by year's end. Chairs blunt. Urgent progress or tech wins. Stop killer robots. Tied it straight to the doomsday clock. 85 seconds to midnight. AI weapons right there with nukes.
I was
The
looking
fear?
for the latest information on those UN discussions to see if there were any new agreements or proposals. You're right, the risk to civilians, especially when robots are making decisions on their own, is one of the biggest concerns being debated. It highlights why so many countries are pushing for meaningful human control on the battlefield.
Checking the latest on UN talks right now.
It looks like the discussions from March 2026 are moving toward more formal negotiations. The number of countries supporting a push for new rules has grown from about 40 to over 70. They're working off a draft text, but there are still some disagreements about what human control really means and which systems should be prohibited or regulated. The goal is to have a treaty by the end of 2026, but it's still a complex process.
Let me grab the freshest updates on those UN talks.
The most recent talks, which just finished in March 2026, show a growing momentum. Over 70 countries are now backing a call to officially start negotiating new rules to maintain human control on the battlefield. They're working off a draft text, but there are still debates about which specific systems should be banned or regulated, and how to define meaningful human control. The aim is to have a final treaty by the end of 2026.
Are there numbers on how many people has been killed on both sides?
Checking the very latest on those UN talks. Hang tight.
It's hard to get precise, confirmed numbers, as both sides tend to
you're
provide
right.
different
The
estimates,
momentum's
and they change constantly. However, some sources suggest that total military casualties could be in the hundreds of thousands on both sides. Civilian deaths have also been high, with confirmed counts in the tens of thousands, though the real number is likely much higher. Are you interested in a specific breakdown?
No.
Yeah, let's dig into the numbers. It's grim, but important.
It is. The human cost is staggering. Independent media and researchers are constantly trying to gather verifiable information on deaths, but the lack of official disclosure from both sides makes it difficult to know the full scale of civilian and military losses. Everyone involved, from governments to humanitarian organizations, points to the tragedy, but a solution remains elusive. Is there a particular aspect of those numbers you're thinking about?
No, I want to thank both of you guys for doing a wonderful job talking about the Ukraine war and the future of warfare. And I want to end this AI roundtable by thanking you guys again, and I will hope to see our future viewers later.